Well, for more on the impact of COVID-19 on tourism, I'm joined by Larry Yu. Larry is Professor of Hospitality Management at George Washington University. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Rachelle, for the invitation.
So I first want to have you get us up to speed. From the start of the pandemic to now, walk us through COVID's financial impact on global tourism.
The financial impact is devastating globally. Just some quick statistics to show the impact. The tourism arrivals, international tourism arrivals in 2020 was 73% down from the levels of 2019. 2019 was the banner year, was the historical high of 1,466 million tourists. And 2020 only reported 399 million, so that was a big jump across the globe. And we're still struggling. 2021, the first 5 months, still 80% down from 2029, the same period, and 65% down from actually the same period 2020. So the impact is, it's really significant across the globe, especially for countries depend on tourism economy, like Thailand and Jamaica in this part of the world, St. Lucia in the Caribbean, and then in the Mediterranean, Cyprus, Malta, Indian Ocean, the Maldives. So it's just widespread impact on tourism-based economies. Economies typically over 50% of the GDP in their countries.
And I mean, this has been a real shock to the system. As you mentioned, this massive drop when what was supposed to be coming off a banner year in 2019. So a lot of them have now resorted to really boosting domestic tourism. What are some areas that have really seen a bump in domestic tourism, given some of these other travel restrictions?
Yes, because mobility is the key for international travel and also domestic travel. Domestic tourism is the shining spot in the last 2 years because the lockdown and the shelter in home, so people just do something locally. So some of the local destinations benefited in terms of certain miles away from home, 10 miles, 15 miles, and then there are more new type of activities. Traditionally, we do not see too much. Traditional, for instance, in the summer, in the US, people go to the beach, people visit the big cities, but now this summer, there were some, they call the unconventional type of activities, more travel into the rural areas, into the countryside, and then a lot of recreation-related activities. For instance, boating has been very popular. There's a new company actually following the model of Airbnb. You can rent boats. And so these are some new type of activities benefiting the local communities and also lower level of the lodging accommodations economy and the mid-market economy, mid-market hotels.
Right.
However, the big hotels in the city are still struggling because the conventions, the business travels are not catching up.
So then with all those losses then, what proportion of hospitality industry workers have left the industry altogether, given all these periodic outbreaks and lockdowns globally?
Well, some of the workers probably just have to readjust to different opportunities. And you raise a very good point. Actually, in the United States, there has been a labor shortage for the hospitality industry, especially since May, when the industry came back. But then, the different variants of the pandemic hit again. However, the industry has been struggling to find workers. Some of the workers just stay away from the industry now, at least for the time being. And so labor shortage is a critical issue in the US now, and some of the hospitality organizations have to be very creative. They do like a housekeeping on demand. Hilton has launched that a few months ago, and if you do not request housekeeping, and that they will not do that, but they offer you once a week type of service. And so there are also some creative ways to handle the different situation created by COVID.
Well, certainly people have to check all the small print there and know what they're getting into. Thank you so much. Larry Yu there, Professor of Hospitality Management at George Washington University.
Thank you.